What's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Theme NYC. Today I'm joined by a friend and former training partner out at Pure Heart when Pure Heart was doing his thing it was recent. It wasn't that long ago. A few years ago, we had a nice squad. We had people from all over, and I'm happy to be joined by my boy Aaron, aka Aaron Gondola. Uh,
Right. What's up?
what's good, brother? Long time no speak. Good catching up with you. How's
Yeah,
everything with
man.
you? I hear you're enjoying the Texas life right now.
Oh no, Texas is beautiful, man. And it's like being from a city and then moving to the suburbs, man, is definitely a change. But it's also a blessing, man, especially with kids and stuff like that. Just
Yeah,
having a whole another environment from where I'm used to. So it's real nice.
yeah, beautiful, man. How is the lifestyle different? Like, coming from New York, the crazy busy. A lot of people are assholes out here. You know what I mean? Um,
Nah,
and
they got some assholes out here sometimes.
I'm pretty sure there's assholes everywhere. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
it's
sure there's
everywhere,
assholes
everywhere.
everywhere. But
Yeah.
I could imagine it's a little more laid back. I don't know. I never been out there. I haven't made my way out to the West Coast yet.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon. Hopefully.
Nah, it's way laid back, man. It's like sometimes like being back home, right? And I went back home. Last time I was there was last December because I fought, obviously,
Mhm.
in that Triton card, and
Mhm.
then it's
We'll
like
get
being
we'll
back
get to
home.
that. We'll get to that. You're fighting.
Yeah, yeah, and being back home was crazy because it's like you hear like at night you just hear a bunch of sirens, a bunch of commotions, a bunch of honking and everything else like that. And you come over here and it's just silent, man. It's
Yeah,
just silent. It's like it's peace.
you're right.
But like a few years in here, I definitely had to get used to it because I was like, man, it's too quiet out here, man.
Mhm.
I feel like Michael Myers is about to creep up on me or something, you know.
Yeah.
But no, it's definitely a change, but I love
Mhm.
it out here, man.
Mhm.
And it's something I'm actually proud of myself for doing and
Beautiful.
moving out here. You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful. Yeah. So you got the family going on out there. You're doing the
Yeah.
daddy duties.
Oh yeah. Yep.
How do you find balance? Like, because you're still training, you're working to get your next fight in there. So you're still doing the amateur fights, right? You haven't
Yep.
have been
Yep.
you're
I
working
have
your way into the pro circuit, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, man, I started my first fight was I was 21, I believe. 20 going to 21, I think.
Mhm.
No, I was 20 actually. I lied. Yeah, I was 20.
Mhm.
So man, it don't feels that long ago, man. I'm 25 now.
Mhm. Time
So
flies, bro.
yeah, it does. It does. It especially flies when you have kids and you're like, holy
Mhm.
cow, man.
Yeah.
What happened?
Tell me about it. I got a kid. I
Well,
got a kid fresh out of college.
yeah, So I got one that's like, damn, man, you were even like moving. Now you're over here jumping off countertops and stuff. But time does fly.
Yeah,
But yeah, man, I was now like, 25, still young. Um, and
absolutely.
and it's like, I mean, yes, everyone wants to go pro. You want to get paid for it and everything like that.
Mhm.
But I believe a lot experience is definitely a key factor into doing this sport because it's not you can't really play the sport. It's not like basketball. It's not like football.
Mhm.
It's similar to like boxing. You see a lot of these boxers. They have crazy records like 199 and 0. I think it's Lomachenko. I don't really.
I like
I'm
Lomachenko. He's
familiar,
nice. Yeah.
but I know he had like a crazy amateur record. Floyd
Mhm.
Mayweather had a crazy amateur record. So a lot of these
Mhm.
guys get, notice the amateurs and stuff like that, and then
Mhm.
you go pro. Yeah, I mean, should I go pro soon? I definitely think so. But I definitely want a couple more.
Mhm.
3 fights is good, but my third fight, it was after a 2.5, 3 year layoff. So it did that, and then after
Plus the
COVID.
COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, and then COVID hit. So I already had like a 2.5, 3 year layoff, and then COVID hit. And then I'm like, damn, okay, I guess we gotta take another year off.
Mhm.
Of course, it's life happens, and this was just one of those life happens kind of moments.
Yeah.
But it's definitely good because I got to just be more home with family. I'm away from the gym.
Mhm.
Gained some weight.
We
Be
all
tough with
did.
the gym.
We all did.
But the most important was definitely like family things, man. like you just realize like, man, you don't spend as much time sometimes, you know, either you're away doing if it's work, if it's gym or something, you're like, you don't really sit down all the time and like talk with your significant other or
Right.
and stuff like that, or
You got to make time for the little things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this definitely made it a thing where it's like, okay, yeah, we're gonna sit down here, we're gonna watch this movie, or yeah, we're gonna, you know, get into the show together or something like that. You know, and then just kids love seeing you home. So you know, it's spending time with the little ones, seeing them grow. So all of that, yeah, I mean, the time was definitely, I didn't wanted to take it off because I wanted to go right away off. Like after that victory, I wanted to, okay, February, let's go. Okay. April, let's go. And then I was hoping 2020 would have been my pro debut year. But it didn't happen, but it's all cool, man. I'm still young. I have no injuries, you know what I'm saying? And then it's a sport like where injuries happen and it's a lot in training and stuff like that, you know? I have no injuries, thank God. So, so really it's just now, come 2021, just getting back into shape. Probably looking at a new weight class to fight at.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at definitely. I'm not gonna do light heavyweight again. I'm gonna either
85
middleweight or even 170. You know, so that's something that I've thought about. You know, and I've just been, you know, looking at things like probably because you go up to like pro, it's different. You know what I'm saying? It's like middleweight and then you got welterweight. So I believe I'll be like a big welterweight, you know, if I can make the cut, you know.
What are you walking around? I mean, okay, on a regular day when you're not, you know, fucking quarantine, extra pounds, what do you usually walk around at?
Yeah, I was walking around, I think like 200 to 210.
Okay.
And that's just training every day. But and sometimes, you know, eating, you know, I'm Spanish, so, you know, I'm over here eating my mom's food and stuff like that. So, and that's with eating like, you know, Spanish food and everything else.
Carbs,
like
a lot of carbs.
So if I substitute all that and strict diet, I could most likely walk around like a good 190, and then that will be like a 20-pound cut. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
and it's not that bad because I wrestled at 182.
I want to get into your wrestling background. So quick sidebar to people listening. I met Aaron training out of Pure Heart, our boy Neo's gym at the time. It's not around anymore, but like I said, we had a good squad, man. I miss those days.
Yeah, we did. Definitely.
I miss those days and
good squad, good coaching staff.
Yeah. So, you know, we've gone some rounds, and I just remember I have like flashbacks of Aaron just shooting that blast double on me and just putting me on my ass with ease. So let's get into your wrestling background, because that's a solid foundation, if not the most important foundation to have in as a mixed martial artist. So talk to us about.
Oh yeah, it is. So I wrestled from a school I actually wrestled for two schools out of Brooklyn. I wrestled my freshman and sophomore year. I wrestled at Erasmus High, which is in
Erasmus Hall.
Flatbush.
I remember.
Yeah, so it's in Flatbush. After my sophomore year, I was like, man, I need to find a school because their wrestling program wasn't as evolved yet. And I really wanted to be good at it, you know. So I looked up. I saw a school called Grand Street, and I remember going against them my freshman year in a dual meet, and I was like, "Yo, these dudes are crazy." You know, these dudes have like city champs, all states, Mayor's Cup champs,
D2, D1.
It's D1. Well, it's D1 is large school. Like I both wrestled large school because Erasmus is a large school because of our football program, basketball program, and plus it goes based on how many students is within the actual school. And Erasmus had, I think, 5 schools within that one campus, you know, and then you just kind of all sports is between the schools. So they both were D1 schools, but it was just a different level, you know. At the time when I saw Grand Street, the head coach was John Zarcone. And I was like, dude, I need to get coached by this guy. You know, he, this guy knew what he was doing. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna put in a transfer to go over there.
Yeah.
And I was already kind of cool with the guys that was on the team, because we in the city they have a program called Beat the Streets, and it's basically all this like Bronx kids, Staten Island kids, Manhattan, Queens, all the schools at Russell go to this center in Manhattan, and we just meet up and we just train together and just get better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was already familiar with some guys are there.
Get some cross training in.
Yeah, because you go against that guy during the season, but then you probably lose him, you probably beat him, and you guys end up training together, getting each other better. And New York City is it's like we're like the black sheep in the state of New York. And I'll get into that a little later on why we're the black sheep. But to touch base back on the school stuff, yeah, so I wanted to get trained by John Sarcone, man, and that was the guy to get trained with. He won the city championships as a team back in 2012, and then he was the guy to go for. He had a bunch of monsters, man. He had like people who I actually came close to. My boy Josh Antoine, Dooney Espinal. He had freaking Jorge Mendez. So he had like a bunch of guys who's just killing it in the cities. So my junior year, I decided to put in a transfer, and I decided to go over there. But then what came as shock for me was he was leaving. So it's going to be a whole new coach. So I was like, and I don't even think my coach knows this. So this is going to be funny if he ever sees this. I'm actually send this to him.
Yeah.
I was kind of like pissed. I was like, man, I came here to get trained by John Zarcone because I know he has all these guys winning cities, and they got this new guy coming up, Stephen Perez, who is also a former MMA fighter and actually teammate in the same college wrestling and MMA team as Aljamain Sterling, who's going to be fighting for the title.
Right.
I looked at MMA and I didn't really know about him, but my main focus, of course, was wrestling, so I didn't really care who he was at the time. I wanted to get trained by a particular coach. So I was like, all right, cool. He's leaving. I might as well just get acquainted with this guy because I got 2 more years. I might as well see what I got.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, now it's like after, training under him and everything like that, it was definitely an eye opener, man, because he had something that I knew I wanted to do after I was finished wrestling, which was MMA. He had that knowledge, and then he was a tough coach. He was an All-American at Nassau Community College in Long Island. And he was also a Cortland graduate, which is a D3 wrestling school, which Aljamain Sterling went to as well.
Yeah.
So he had a good pedigree. He wasn't just like some random coach that John Zarcone brought in. John Zarcone, I believe, is also a Cortland alum. I think he wrestled for him as well. So it was good. So he was kind of like passing down the torch to him, and he kind of said, you know what, I'm gonna trust you with this team, and I believe you can do what you can do with it. And he did, man.
Nice.
My junior year, my first year with them, it was under Stephen Perez and assistant coach Brian Garcia. And I remember going to Mears Cup, which is a big tournament in the city. It's independent school, it's private school, and then it's public school, right?
Yeah.
So it's all three sanctions coming into one whole thing, and you're gonna basically wrestling for the best in the city. When I did it my freshman year, sophomore year, it was such a big tournament. It was like you would probably have like 30 kids in your bracket, so it's like a 3-day tournament, So I think it was over 300 kids competed.
Yeah.
In that tournament. It's the best in the city.
Wow, 300.
Yeah, it was like the U.S. Open almost. But because like the caliber of kids was crazy. Like you got private school kids who are nasty, they got like the money for the coaches and everything else, and you got them. Then you got the public school kids, which are they just have a bunch of grit. Public school kids are like, all right, whatever. And then you got the private school. And you got the private school kids, and then Catholic. I'm sorry, I just mixed that whole up. So it's private, public, and Catholic schools.
Okay.
And then you got the Catholic schools who are also beasts too. So my freshman year, I did that tournament, didn't do good. My sophomore year, didn't do it. I did that tournament, didn't do good. It was with Erasmus. My junior year, I did the tournament with Grand Street now. I believe I placed 5th place or something like that, 5th place. And then at the city tournament, which is after Mayor's Cup, cities is basically a qualifier to go to the big tournament, which is states. You have to win cities and able to be called state wrestler to go up there to wrestle. You cannot be like 3rd place. They're not taking no 3rd place guy.
Wow.
2nd place. So you have to win cities just to go up to states. And that's what makes us different from like Long Island, like Nassau and Suffolk County, Section 11 and Section 8. And then what makes us different from upstate, Section 1. So from Section 1 to Section 11, it just makes it all different because they can have a guy place 2nd, and their shit is called county. You know, they can have a guy place 2nd in county, but he can still qualify to go to the state tournament. See what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just a different caliber. You know, these kids these kids start wrestling literally, it's like through birth. And then if you have like your father wrestled, your grandfather wrestled, your brother wrestled. So these kids start wrestling early.
Oh, wow.
So they're already way ahead of the city kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I placed 2nd my junior year. I was wrestling 195. Man, it was probably the hardest loss I ever took because I was like, okay, I know I placed 5th at Mayor's Cup, which is like the entire city. I believe I can beat whoever I wrestled in the city tournament. I believe I can at least win. Got to the finals. It was a crazy neck and neck match. Ended up going in overtime. And I still have nightmares to this day. I gave up a takedown that I probably knew I could have fought. And then I lost, man. And then I was just like, okay.
But that made you want to come back and like.
No, yeah, that made me want to come back and rip everything. Right. So I come back, and then it's a new weight class for me. I decided to go down a little bit. That's when I decided to wrestle at 182. And then I came back. Mayor's Cup wasn't as big as they used to do it. I think I don't know if it's funding or whatever happened. They wanted it to be like I think you had to qualify to go to Mayor's Cup. So instead of having Mayor's Cup as just a big tournament, you qualify to go there, and then you go there and wrestle. So your bracket was like 16 kids, 16 wrestlers. So Mayor's Cup senior year, won that. That was a big thing for me. Best in the city, right? And then come cities, St. Guy Fury, come to the cities finals, won that, qualify for states. And then you go up to the state tournament and you just see the caliber of everyone is so different. You just see that experience, you know, it's like the cities is like, and not to shit on Bellator, but you got like Bellator and then you got like the states is like UFC, you know?
Right. Right.
And it's just a different caliber. Yeah. It's just a different caliber. Like, of course you got guys that in the city that are crazy and then they beat guys in the state. Just like Bellator guys who are crazy, they're just not fighting in the UFC, you see? Then you got guys in the States, you know, that's just it's just crazy all in all. But that tournament, it definitely was it was an eye opener, man, into just athletic competition and to see like all these kids wrestling. And then I went 1-2 in that tournament. I didn't get to place at all. And it was tough, man. It was tough. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to college. I'm going to wrestle in college. And I'm going to do a 2-year school first. So I'm going to do a community college, see if I can national champ All-American there. And then see what's up after I got done wrestling in the state tournament in New York. And
sorry about that. If you hear that noise, my sink is wilding out right now. I'm in the kitchen and my sink is just like possessed right now. What the fuck?
You got the grudge coming out of there.
Yo, what the hell? Go ahead. My bad.
So no. So after the state tournament, I lost. I decided, I'm gonna try out college wrestling. So I was gonna wrestle for the school, up in upstate New York, man. What was it? It was Jamestown Community College. went up there, man, and it was just like so different, man. This is the little kid in me, right? I just didn't know how to kind of like, man, I didn't want to be away from home. I didn't want to, it was tough. Like my girlfriend at the time I was with, it was tough being in a far relationship. So it was just tough all along. And I was like, and I was like, I don't know if I want to be at this school to wrestle and stuff like that. So I ended up not even wrestling a season out there, man. I ended up just leaving. So all this just came back around, and I was like, man, okay, I'm just gonna go back to Brooklyn and see what's up. And then after that is when I went into Pure Heart. I met
okay.
I don't know how I got into Pure Heart. Luigi. There you go.
Luigi.
He used to come through and train with us at Grand Street.
I think Danny Maldonado, shout out to Danny. I think he came through with Luigi one day.
Okay, yeah, and you know what's funny? The world of martial arts is so small because Danny knows my wrestling coach, and then he knows my it was another assistant coach at the time. He was there for a little bit, Steve Pack. He knows these guys, and I think because I don't know if he trained at Radical MMA. Have you ever heard of that, Jim?
Yes.
I think they all trained at Radical, so he kind of knew. But anyways, it's just crazy how small the world is. Luigi used to wrestle, come through and train with him and stuff like that at Grand Street. And then he actually wrestled with a couple of boys of mine at Nassau and stuff like that. So
Quick shout out to Luigi. I think he's training out of Henzo Brooklyn's now, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. Yeah. So I think that's how I got into Pure Heart, and I got to meet Matt and them.
Matt, shout out to fucking crazy ass Matt Kaplan.
Yeah, Matt, and then
John Callistein,
and then Nick, and then you got Nick over there.
Nick,
the Ginger Ninja. And then you had John Callistein, man, the BCBI grappler, man. And then you had Neo, man, and honestly,
we had a good mix.
Neo was a cool dude, man. Like, I'm coming from this kid from Brooklyn, man, who didn't really have anything. He let me train there for free. I don't know if a lot of guys knew that. I'm not sure if they
probably saw the potential in you, because just real quick, I just want to, not to speed things up, but I want to get into when you had, how many fights did you have at Triton?
One.
You had that one fight under, and you went in there with Matt and Nick as your coaches, right? Or no?
No, it wasn't Triton. It was Fight Club, something called Fight Club or something like that.
Okay. Was that your first fight? Was that your first fight out of there?
That was my first fight in I think it was in Jersey. Yeah.
Okay. But then you did a Triton fight, didn't you?
No, I didn't touch Triton, man, until
I could have sworn you did.
My last fight. No, I did that. Then I did WEC. No, not WEC. I said WEC.
You went back in time.
ECW, something.
ECF?
ECW or something like that.
ECF or some shit.
No, not ECF, man.
Oh, okay. Well, regardless, you had some success.
WCC.
Okay.
Yeah, WCC. Man, these they have all the same abbreviations. But yeah. No, so my first fight was for Fight Club. Or something like that. And my second fight was WCC. Yeah. And that was both under Pure Heart, you know.
What I was gonna say is, they saw the potential in you, and because of your wrestling background. But I also want to get into. I'll let you get back into what you were just talking about, but what the team that you're training out of now in Texas, and how that's going, but. Yeah, first finish what you were.
No, it's definitely he saw the potential, and then he gave me an opportunity to train, and I'm forever grateful for the opportunity. I was able to train under some great coaches, and get my first couple of fights in there and stuff like that. So it was definitely a blessing, man. And then of course things happened, man. The team broke up a little bit, and then everyone
got scattered. Everyone got scattered.
Yeah. Everyone parted ways. And I have no bad blood for anyone, and I'm not that type of guy. hey, I still love the heck out of all of them. You know, all you guys, like, hey,
Same
I
here.
don't care where you're training at. You know, I'm not gonna let gym stuff depict how my relationship's gonna go with someone.
Yeah.
I just think that's just not really reasonable.
Yeah.
But yeah, so everyone's separated. And then, of course, after that, I kind of joined the military.
I remember that. You joined the military.
Yeah, I went into the Army, which is another blessing. You know, I did my contract year, and I decided to stay out here in Texas.
Okay.
You know, and then I just seen it as a better
blessing in disguise, maybe.
Yeah.
Blessing in disguise.
Oh, it was definitely a blessing in disguise, but I also just seen it as a better opportunity. You know, it was either go back home and like, you know, live with parents, or just kind of have to be independent.
Right.
And you know, do my own thing.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have much that I wanted to go back home for, you know. So I decided to stay out here. But it took me a while, man, to even get back into like a gym that I like, and get into a groove. I still, even in my third fight that I had, even I've been training out here in Texas, my third fight wasn't even with the coaches that's out here.
Okay.
You know, it was with Nick. You know, and John cornered me, and then my wrestling coach from high school, Steven, he came through and he cornered me as well. And these guys, man, and hats off to them, because in the drop of a dime, they were like, "All right, cool, yeah, I'll corner you, no problem." So that's the kind of relationship I still have with them, because it's like, I don't care where I am or anything like that. They'll be like, "All right, cool, you and me in New York, you're fighting, all right, cool, let's go." So I really appreciate Nick for that, and John and Steven and stuff. So I still haven't had a fight with the gym I'm at currently. Shout out to Strikings, that's their name right now out there in Coppers Cove, Texas. And I also train at Travis, which is actually called Legends BJJ now. He just changed the name of it, which is a Travis more. He's the EBI vet. I think he did the EBI like 3 times or something like that. I'm training my grappling with him and another grappling coach, Sal.
Practicing your rubber guard?
Yeah, drill chill. Trying to get jiu-jitsu up there, man. I've been doing a lot of BJJ, man. Because like, man, after the third fight, it was good. I won by decision, but you know, I'm just trying to sharpen up tools, man. Try to go out there, have finishes, you know, whether it's striking or grappling. So I'm just working on a whole bunch of stuff. But at the same time, I still haven't picked where I would like to train at for a professional.
Right.
Once I go pro.
Once you get this team down packed, everything's solid, then you could.
Yeah, and it's nothing towards these guys. They have great guys, man. They got, shout out to my boy Pati.
Sometimes it takes a while for you to, you know, get that right core group of
you just
solid,
have to,
reliable people.
And it's like this, man. Like, I had such an astounding relationship with my wrestling coach. Like, he believes in me and I believe in him, and then my performance was just up there. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Matt and Nick. It was just, we just clicked, man. We just clicked. You know what I'm saying? Like, Nick would take us out there to Longo MMA and train with these guys. And then Matt, I'll go to Henzo. I'll train with like Sapo and them, you know? And we just clicked, and they knew what I was good at, what I was bad at, you know? And it was just different. You know, and it's nothing against the coaches out here. It's nothing against anything. It's just that I'm a type of fighter athlete. I want to like be able to have a fighter relationship with you, and then also like a nice little personal relationship with you.
Right.
Like we always hung out. You know, we always hung out.
Everybody bonded.
You know, like going out, watching fights. I don't really have that crazy out here, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of a shell guy. You know. So if I'm not clicking with you as much, I'm not gonna really be like, "Hey, man, you want to go out there to grab a drink or something like that?" And don't get me wrong, these guys are cool. You know, I was saying earlier, shout out to Pati. He trains out there. He was just in the Dana White Contender Series. Unfortunately, he lost. And then my boy Jose, I call him the Dominican Batman. He was also in the.
He's fighting crime out there.
Yeah, he was also in Dana White Contender Series. Unfortunately, it didn't go their way either. So they have,
but that's still they're in the mix.
Yeah, they got solid guys out there. You know, but it's just where I feel like I just want to see where I'm gonna go. I get comfortable with okay, I think this is where I want to train at. Like what's gonna benefit me here? What I like here. So it's just exploring, just trying to figure out what's the right spot for my pro. And this is why I'm still fighting amateurs, man, because I just want to know when I go pro, who am I gonna say, okay, let's go? Because I might even train out in AKA. I've been thinking about that, doing my little travel sessions. I've been thinking about either AKA, I'll go out there, because I'm a big wrestling guy, and then you got Daniel over there, and then he has like that style that I love, man, because we have like the same just style with the reach and the body type and everything else.
Yeah.
And I would love to learn stuff from him. So I've been thinking about even, man, sometime I might do my training camps out there, and I might.
How long would a drive be out there from where you're at? Maybe like 7, 8 hours?
Drive. I would definitely be
more than 8 hours.
Flying. Yeah, it will be like 18 probably.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I'll most likely be
definitely flying.
But I've been thinking about out there. They got some great guys out there.
Yeah.
And then I've been thinking about American Top Team as well in Florida. I've been thinking about out there. They have some great guys out there. You got Mike Brown and stuff like that as a coach up there. So there's a lot of solid teams that I'm just looking at, like who's going to get me to the next caliber. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who's gonna get me to where I see myself as a pro and winning?
Who's gonna add more tools to the toolbox?
Exactly. And I'll actually look at Jackson Wink as well. So
they're not that far from you either.
Yeah, no,
Albuquerque,
right there. New Mexico is right there, man. So I've been thinking about just where I really want to go and what team do I want to settle with.
Yeah.
To go with. And it's like I said, man, these coaches are great out here. It's just basically at the end of the day, you're the guy going in there. You're the guy doing the damage, taking the damage.
Yeah.
You're the guy that's putting, like, this is a life or death. Like, it's really, really dangerous sport. And it could be unforgiven. You can go in there and then one day you can't come out. And before it was like, whatever, but when you got kids, you're like, hold up.
Think twice.
It's not whatever. I want to grow up and see my baby girl go to school, graduate high school, college. And then I also want to be able to interact. I don't want to go somewhere where I'm like, whatever, I'm just going to train and fight. And then I'm not doing it smart, because I'm not going to do this for the rest of my life. It's not a sport you can do for the rest of your life.
You got to be smart.
So that's why when I go pro, I want to literally plan out, okay, this is how many years I think is going to take me to go here. Okay, this is how many years I think is going to take me to get the UFC championship. Of course, it's a lot of stuff that comes into the midst here, which is like injuries, personal issues. So life is going to be life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I want to be able to have a coaching staff that I can sit down and say, okay, let's game plan. Let's see what we got to do, where we got to go, how we're going to do it. So I want to make sure I have a team that can be able to execute something strategically and not just be like picking up random shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then also another thing is managing, man. I just haven't found who I want to manage me as well.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm doing amateurs as well, because the more you get your name out there in amateurs, different managing is going to come up. And I want to make sure I have someone that I trust, because a lot of these guys are, sneaky. So just want to make sure I have good managing too, man. Because at the end of the day, I slowly believe, hey, you're going in there, I'm supposed to be the one getting the money. That's mostly, of course, everyone gets their fair share and everything else like that. But come on, if you're putting yourself in danger, you have to be able to get compensated for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
get a fair share of the cup.
So those are like, yeah. So and like, man, it's of course you're gonna start off not making millions, you know what I'm saying? But you want to start off with something with something good, even though, like, honestly, and I thank God for this, money is not an issue for me. So that's why I'm not fighting for money or anything like that. I'm fighting because I wanna go for it, man. I want to say, you know what? When I grow up, I'll be like, yep, I did it. I tried it. Did it go well? Yeah. Did it go well? No. All right, but at least I did it.
At least you know you gave it your all.
Yeah. So money is definitely not a thing for me. I mean, I would love to get, you know, 500,000 for a fight and stuff like that. I just love it, man. I just love it. You
Yeah.
know. So it's definitely not a money thing. It's more of a pride thing. I want to go out there and
Well, you got to have a passion for it. They always say that, you know, you can't have one foot in and one foot out in this sport. This, like you said, it's an unforgiving sport, and that's why it's a very small circle of men and women that do this, and that's why I love this sport as a fan. You know, as a fan and a martial artist, you know, I appreciate everything that you guys do and everything that goes into it, because I see it secondhand, like the weight cuts, the training, the sparring rounds, the injuries.
Yeah,
it's crazy,
demanding.
bro.
It's
crazy.
It's physically,
It is
and
physically and
demanding.
mentally. Yeah, I get all that.
Physically and mentally demanding.
So you
man.
definitely, at the end of the day, got to get the deal that's best for you and get your money's worth. I fully support that.
No, yeah, definitely, man. And that's why, like, when people think about money, they go pro too soon, and then it doesn't work out for them. You know, I believe if you're in, and this is like coming from wrestling, like a lot of like wrestlers can now actually make some type of good money now. Like wrestling is getting where they having these cards. Shout out to Flow Wrestling, they be hosting these cards, and they have like where people getting some good money for wrestling. You know, but before if you're not an Olympic champ or anything like that, you're not making a lot of money. You're doing it for pride, man. You're doing it for honor. You're doing it to be the best. You know, so money's not even in your, and you know you're not going to get money for it, but you're doing it to be the best. And I carry that same mindset over. Like, I want to do this because I want to be the best. You know, I believe, like when I was wrestling, I believe I could have been the best there. So I gave it my all there. And now the same thing for here. So I don't want money to be the thing that drives me. That says, you know, go.
Money will come.
No, it's definitely it will, man. It will, and it's just is as long as you put the work in, it's gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be there. I just want to be like, you know, my daughter be like, hey, yeah, my dad fought for the UFC, or he fought for a title. You know, like stuff like that. It's just the memories you can have from it, and then just pursuing the career itself. So it's more than just that. Financial.
I agree. And one thing I would say, as a person who's known you in person and interacted with you, I know that the way you carry yourself says a lot too. Like, you're a humble guy. You're not out there talking shit. You're not out there sassing people or, you know, being whatever, you know, there's people like that in this game. You're definitely humble. So I think that's going to carry you a long way, brother. Yeah, man. And on that note, let's take a quick 1 minute break and come right back. Get into some mother effing fights coming up.
All right, cool.
Give me 1 minute. Man. Give me 1 minute, and I'll be right back.
All right.
And we're back, y'all. Yeah, man, it was great catching up, man. Some good stuff there. You know, it's good to, you know, sometimes you interact with people and you don't know their backstory. You know what I mean? Like, it's good to know. Yeah. You know, what you went through coming up and the different experiences and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool, man, to use this platform to like just have people speak on their history a little bit, man. Definitely.